Welcome to this explainer. Let's get right into it. Building a corporate brand is, well, it's exactly like building a massive physical skyscraper. You don't just start with a fresh coat of paint or a quick logo redesign. No way. You start from the foundation up. It really is the architecture of your entire business. Now, you might be wondering, is branding just a nice-to-have design thing? Think again. 33%. That is the staggering revenue gain seen by brands that present themselves consistently across every single channel. To put that into perspective, a brand isn't just an expense, it's a compounding financial asset sitting right there on your balance sheet. So, what does this all mean? Our blueprint relies on one core definition. Corporate branding is the discipline of managing how your entire company is perceived and trusted over the long haul. We aren't just selling a single item here. We're selling the reputation and the culture of the entire organization. A truly strong corporate branding strategy shapes how a company communicates its purpose, its values, and its personality across every market and every touchpoint.
Here is our architectural blueprint for today's explainer. 1. The value of corporate branding. 2. The 4 pillars of branding, which is absolutely the core focus of our time today. 3. Choosing your brand architecture. 4. The strategy rollout blueprint. And 5. Sustaining your brand identity.
Section 1. The value of corporate branding. Moving beyond simple marketing. Think of a product brand as a single, beautifully decorated room designed for a highly specific use. Your corporate brand, however, it's the entire building that holds it all together. Marketing campaigns for that specific room are going to change tactically from quarter to quarter, but your corporate brand strategy is meant to stay absolutely stable for years. It acts as the foundational structure that literally every single marketing activity draws from.
Section 2. The 4 pillars of branding, the core of your brand.
All right, these are the load-bearing walls of your business. Purpose, consistency, culture, and perception. This is the main event for us today. You need all 4 of these pillars working in perfect harmony. If you try to build a brand with only 3, the whole structure collapses. A strong purpose means very little if your internal culture is toxic, or if the market's perception doesn't reflect your goals. We have to look at these not as individual marketing tactics, but as deeply interconnected support systems for your entire business identity. Let's take Patagonia for our first pillar, purpose. Their purpose, saving our home planet, isn't just some motivational poster in the break room. It literally dictates their supply chain, their legal structure, and their marketing. Because they planted that flag so firmly, they naturally attract customers, partners, and employees who share those exact same values. True purpose doesn't just sit on an About Us page, it guides real action and tough business decisions. Moving right along to consistency and perception. We all know IKEA for flat-packed furniture and, those tiny, easily lost Allen wrenches. But because they've relentlessly stuck to their narrative of democratic design, they've ensured their affordable identity stays instantly recognizable. This relentless consistency allows them to sell you Swedish meatballs or stretch into smart home tech, and it still distinctly feels like IKEA. They mold market perception by never ever breaking character. And that brings us to culture. There's this fascinating concept called the Vision Culture Image Model, or VCI for short. It basically means this: if the CEO's polished vision doesn't match the employee's actual daily culture, the external image the customer sees will eventually crack under the pressure. Misalignment between what leadership envisions and what employees practice is a massive leading indicator of a failing brand. You simply cannot fake it. Zappos is the ultimate proof that your culture is your brand. By investing heavily in training every single employee to embody their core values, they generated absolutely legendary customer service. That inside-out growth compounds so much faster and creates far more immense external trust than any massive advertising spend ever could. A brand's growth has to be sustainable from within, effectively turning your employees into your strongest brand ambassadors. Section 3. Choosing your brand architecture. Structuring your identity. With our 4 pillars firmly in place, you've got some structural options. You have to intentionally choose how the world sees your hierarchy. A branded house like Google means efficiency and lightning-fast growth, but it carries shared risk across everything they do. On the flip side, a house of brands like P&G keeps products totally separate. This protects the invisible parent company if one single product fails. You could also choose an endorsed model like Marriott, where the parent lends credibility, or a hybrid like Microsoft. Making this architectural decision explicitly is absolutely crucial for long-term clarity. Section 4. The Strategy Rollout Blueprint. Let's actually build the house. You absolutely cannot flip a switch overnight.
Building this house requires a deliberate, phased approach. Notice a critical detail here in the sequence. Step 4, the internal launch, happens before Step 5, the external rollout. This is vital. You must bring your employees in early. If your internal team doesn't buy into the brand first, well, your customers never will.
To keep every department aligned during this rollout, you can literally build a messaging house. The roof is your one-sentence brand promise. The pillars hold that promise up with your top 3 key messages, and the foundation grounds it all in the actual proof points backing those pillars. It is a highly effective, repeatable template that prevents your sales team from sounding completely different from your PR team. Section 5. Sustaining your brand identity. Keeping it completely consistent. Over time, brands naturally drift off course if no one is steering the ship. You need a lightweight governance structure to prevent the roof from caving in. Most drift happens simply because no one owns the final call. So, you need a brand owner, like a CMO, accountable for decisions, a cross-functional brand counsel to review edge cases, and an operations lead for day-to-day approvals. Governance isn't about red tape or bureaucracy, it's about consistency. Before you go live, please don't skip the sanity check. Is leadership actually aligned, or did they just nod at a PowerPoint presentation? Are your employee toolkits fully ready to go? Are the legal and trademark clearances bulletproof? Do you have a dashboard to measure brand awareness? Measure twice, cut once, as they say. I want to leave you with a really provocative question to think about. If your logo disappeared tomorrow, would your culture and your purpose still tell the market who you are? A true corporate brand isn't just a visual identity. It is the undeniable DNA of your entire organization. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I challenge you to look at your own brand's 4 pillars with fresh eyes today.